You know, today I got several messages asking me pretty much the same question. One of those messages was from a viewer, Mariah Sinclair, I hope I'm saying that right, viewer, who asked me if I would respond to James Yeager's latest statement. In fact, I get asked by a lot of people all the time to respond to whatever most recent drivel has rolled out of his mouth and down his little billy goat beard. When are people going to realize you don't have to respond to most of what Yeager says, because even Yeager doesn't believe most of what he says. He just says it so that the internet hens will start clucking about him and people will be talking about him on YouTube. And this might surprise most of you out there, but James Yeager is no longer my secret YouTube boyfriend. He said some mean and hurtful things about me and hurt my feelings, and I am still very mad at him. Or at least I think I'm still mad at him. Let me check my text messages here. Nope, he has not responded to any of the pictures I have sent him, so I am still mad at him. And because I am mad at him, I do not watch his videos. Well, the other day I actually thought I was watching one of his videos. I thought I was watching that documentary he said he was going to make back when he did his GoFundMe thing. But about 30 minutes into it, I started thinking to myself, you know, there's just a little bit more tranny sex in this than I thought there would be in a James Yeager video. And it turns out I had downloaded a Buck Angel film. And man, was it disgusting. I was ready for a little bit of disgusting when I knew I was watching a James Yeager film, but this kind of took the cake. I could barely finish watching it. Or I should say I could barely finish watching it. I don't want to pause like that. When I pause like that, it kind of implies that I could barely finish while watching it, and that's not what I'm trying to say. I had no trouble finishing, much like when I used to watch regular James Yeager videos. But all of that aside, the comment that people wanted me to respond to was James Yeager apparently has said that the 40 Smith & Wesson round is a dead round. And people have asked me, do I agree with that? Well, no, I do not agree with that. Caliber popularity ebbs and flows. It comes and it goes depending on what's the caliber of the month, the flavor of the month, who's endorsing what, who's making a gun for what. So, you know, it goes up and it goes down. And right now, 9mm is very popular again. Because of, modern technologies and bullets, 9mm is very capable, so more people are switching to it because it's cheaper. In fact, the FBI just did that. A lot of people think that, well, the FBI just said that the 9mm is better than the 40. No, they didn't. They just said that the 9mm is better for the way they use their guns and it's cheaper. And by the way they use their guns, they pretty much mean when 9 agents are unloading their magazines into one perp, it doesn't matter if you riddle them with 40 and miss them 90% of the time, or you riddle them with 9mm and miss them 90% of the time. It's pretty much the same result as long as you hit them a few times. To say the 9mm is better than the 40 Smith & Wesson is just not true. In fact, the 40 Smith & Wesson can do a lot of things better than the 9mm. One of those things is hard barrier penetration. When it comes to hard barriers, 9mm will never perform as well as 40 Smith & Wesson, especially a good bonded 40 Smith & Wesson round. But a lot of people don't think about hard barrier. A lot of people just look at gel test and they think that that tells them a lot about a round. Gel testing is one of the worst ways to tell about a round and what it'll actually do in the real world. Gel testing will basically tell you how well a round will perform if a guy is really fat and it's got to go through 10 or 12 inches of fat before it hits bone or muscle or anything. I hate when I see otherwise reasonable people do ammo testing and then they say, oh, it penetrated too far in the gel, so I would never use it. It'll go right through 2 or 3 people. That's not true at all. Gel is nowhere near the consistency of the human body, not even dense muscle tissue, much less bone. And all rounds that perform the same in gel wouldn't perform the same in a different substance. All that gel testing really tells you is how quickly rounds lose velocity and energy when they're met with consistent and continuous resistance. And gives you a good reference point so you can compare them all together in the same substance. It does not really simulate the human body. In fact, there's lots of people out there that have done real-world testing, like Tim from the Military Arms channel, who said, they say this round penetrates too far, that it'll go way through a living object. Then they go out and they shoot a pig with it, and they find out it doesn't penetrate anywhere near what it does in gel. So stop thinking gel testing is the end-all, be-all for ammo testing. It isn't even close. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're not talking about ballistics testing. We're talking about whether the 40 Smith & Wesson is a dead round. And no, it isn't. It just isn't the flavor of the month right now. And since smaller, cheaper rounds are becoming more and more competent, a lot of people are switching over to them because they're more affordable and they're lighter to carry, they're easier to get, etc. And plus right now in the tactical commando squad, on the internet, they're pushing 9mm a lot now. I don't know why, but it just seems to be the flavor of the month with them. Once these, tactical tight shirts or the tactical baby tees, as I like to call them, get a good endorsement to push 40 Smith & Wesson again or 45 or whatever, they'll be pushing that round. So if you're someone out there that's really worried about this, don't sweat it. The 40 Smith & Wesson is not going away no more than the 10mm is. If you buy a gun in 40 Smith & Wesson, they're still making guns in 40 Smith & Wesson, they're still going to keep making the ammo. But you know, if you're really worried about this problem, you can actually solve it pretty easily. Just buy all your guns, especially your self-defense guns, in 357 Magnum. Then you have nothing to worry about. You ain't even my real dad. You know, today I got a few today I got a couple of videos. The same question. One of those videos was from a videos. Today I got several video. Why do you keep saying fucking videos? Sinclair. I hope I'm saying. There is a lot more, actually a little bit more. James Yeager video, but about 30. I had accidentally downloaded a Buck Angel film by mistake. Fuck! When it's met with continuous and tell you how quickly every round will energy when it meets consistent and energy when it meets a consistent. What is it? Fucking continuous and consistent. I can't get this right.